Oh boy, very cold today. Very cold. So I checked into another hotel. Today's Monday, right? Monday. This is a newer hotel. I stayed here many times. It was minus 18 Celsius or 0 F today. And now it started snowing. You know, pretty bad. And I checked the hold on. I need that light because this is because yeah, this camera has a very limited capacity for low light. So I just want to quickly give you guys an update what's been happening. So my biggest concern was I was fighting the broker with the money, right? Hold on one second. And it was only a couple of days, right? Because I delivered the load. I delivered the load Friday. I'm just checking my picture there. I've loved this camera that there's a screen, you know, and you can, I can increase, like if I want to be closer like this, right? So anyway, it was only Friday that I delivered that load, that pile only thing, and I was surprised to find out that I was only paid 80% of the agreed rate. And the guy says, no problem, we'll send it by email, by PayPal. And then 12 o'clock, that's when they told me they submitted the request to accounting. And when I checked the address of this company on Google Maps, because I wanted to leave them a review, that area in this Waxahachie, Texas, shows as a purely residential area. So it's like, a big house at that address. I could use like a street view, right? So I can see it's a house. So the guy's working from home, and he tells me that he has to submit it to accounting. So I don't know, maybe he's part of a bigger company, but so I was 80% sure that they would not pay me. And so Friday I sent in a complaint. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. I sent in a complaint to my load board customer service. Basically, they have what is called. Well, it's like basically credit rating, but it's not like the generic credit rating where everybody can see it. It's only for their internal credit score, So people that are signed up for the premium service, like they pay extra for this, they have access to this credit reporting. So basically it's like members of this load board can post, can grade each other, so to speak, on performance, right? And so let's say when this guy didn't pay me, or the scientific term is short paid me, I can leave him bad feedback, right? But the way it works is that first you have to submit a complaint to customer service, and then the customer service gets in touch with the company, and they give them 7 days to resolve this. If they don't resolve it, then they add my complaint, saying that short paid so much, to their kind of like load board profile, right? So all other people that signed up for this credit profiling, they will be able to see that. Of course, it's a very small amount, but these are the people that they work with, you know. Like me personal, I never use this service, even though I'm subscribed because I have a premium package. But as a carrier, because I use my factoring company to check broker's credit, it's much more, because that's what for me, what's important for me as carrier, to make sure that I'm paid, right? I don't care what the load board says, you know, if they're bad or good. Like, I trust my factoring company more in this regard. And actually, if you remember, I mentioned this, that the factoring company refused to work with them, saying that they can give me the money, but only on a recourse basis. So basically, they had doubts, right? And it turns out they were right. And so I sent another email to these guys. I said, okay, that's it. I don't want to bother you. I know you're busy, I'm busy, so this is the last email I'm sending you, because they keep telling me that they're going to pay me, that it's submitted to the accounting. With the office being in a residential area, I just thought they were trying to get rid of me, you know. So I said, okay, that's it. This is the last time I'm gonna email you guys. So what's gonna happen is this: like, the complaint has been submitted to the load board customer service. They should get in touch with you. You have 7 days to pay me the money. If you don't pay me by the end of the work day, which is Friday, February 4th, this week, this is what is going to happen, right? I said the complaint will be added to your profile on the load board, you know, credit rating thing. Second, what's going to happen is that I'm going to approach the insurance broker and I will file against their bond, right? And that not always works. That doesn't always work, from what I understand, because if somebody is a bad broker, you know, let's say, I don't know, they have like $50,000 or $100,000, but they owe maybe $120,000 to people, right? So just because the guy has a bond, it does not mean that you'll be paid, because maybe there's, you know, 200,000 people that he owes money to, right? And so that's what I said. But that will be my next step, because I'm not gonna get it slide. Like, I have all the money, I have all the time in the world, so and it's still a lot of money, you know. I said, you're not gonna get rid of me that easy. But I said, so that's what's gonna happen. The complaint will be on your credit profile. Number 2, I will contact your insurance company to get the money. And number 3, if that doesn't work, I said, I will hire a lawyer or a collections agency, and they will try to collect 40% of what you owe me, because 20% will be for me and 20% will be for the lawyer as his or her fee. And I said, why don't you just avoid all this hassle and just pay me, right? And guess what? Then I don't know if it was because of this email, or I probably sent them like 5 or 6 emails since the load was delivered Friday, you know. And then 2 o'clock I receive an email from PayPal saying that you've got money. And I look at the amount, and the guy who sent the money, they never paid any fees, right? And so PayPal charged me fees, and I paid $45 US for the privilege of getting this money. But at this, even though of course I was promised COD on delivery, right? But at this point, I don't care. I think I got off real easy. But as soon as I got that money, I sent it to my bank, so I should get it within 2 or 3 days in my bank account. But if I ever work with these guys again, because you know, you don't want to burn all the bridges. Like, what if there's no loads, but this guy has a load, right? But the only way I would work with them again is if I'm prepaid 100% unloading, right? Like I always say, like I mentioned in the last video, I said, that's it. There's only 2 options for me. Either I check their credit is good, and then I'm being paid by the factoring company, or if their credit is not good, then I will only do this load if they pay me in advance. As soon as I load, and I send them a picture. I send them a picture of the load on the deck, or when I'm hooked up to it. If it's a power only load, that's it. There's nothing, no option C or plan C. That's it. And so yeah, it was a lot of stress, lots of kind of like, lots of nerves were damaged. But finally, and it's still, I'm thinking about this. This is only the second business day. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I thought this is it, like I work for these guys and basically, no, at least I got the money, right? So not the full amount, but I got the money. But still, I got all the paperwork, right, where they say they'll pay me, and it just, I don't know. But anyway, so there's always the silver lining, right? So I got paid, that's good. So, and I've been waiting for, I don't want to leave yet because first of all, the weather's so bad, it's so cold. And I'm waiting for that package with fat pipes, with that resonated delete kit, and it's coming to Buffalo. And I've been checking the status, and it says it's sitting at the warehouse. So I called FedEx. I said, what's going on? So when can I pick it up? And they said, well, it's coming from California, so they didn't unpack that container yet. There's like a big container, I guess, came on a plane. But they're going to unpack it tomorrow, and so you can pick it up tomorrow, Tuesday. And so I started thinking that I might spend a couple of days in the States. And I checked so of course I'm leaving the truck here. And I remember that I was low on fuel, and the weather's getting worse and worse. And this is definitely not the time when you want to have partial, tanks partially filled up. And I think last time when I got fuel, I didn't use any anti-gel because I used up that whole box that I had before. And so I checked the weather forecast for Cambridge, Ontario, and just like everywhere in the States, it's happening now. It's like a deep freeze, And if this morning was -18 or 0F, then Tuesday night going to Wednesday, they promise -25 Celsius, which is -13. -13F. Yeah, it's like tomorrow I think it's going to be -2, but then towards the evening it's going to be like -4 Celsius, -6, -8, -10, and then tomorrow I think into Wednesday. Yeah, from Tuesday night it'll start going real bad down. And it'll be -13, And I stopped by my truck today. I started it, and it but started, and I warmed it up a little bit. But now I was thinking, wait a second. So I'll go into US in my car for a couple of days, right? Because I want to pick up this package, but also I want to install these Racing Flowmaster mufflers that I carry in my car now. Because I was waiting for these new pipes because they're bigger. They're 3-inch. And the mufflers I got are 3-inch in, 3-inch out. So I need these pipes. And so I drove in my car to this Mac dealer that, I had an argument with them before, right? When I had the Mac, and I said, that's it, I'm not coming to your shop ever again. But I remember the parts department had very good deal on this anti-gel. I used to buy a whole box. It was like $7 Canadian, like $5 US per bottle. And two of those, when it's really cold, they suggest 2 of those bottles for 500 liters or 130 gallons. So that's like 2 liters. Like each bottle is like, I don't know, 2 pints, right? So it's like a gallon pretty much. No, wait. Half a gallon of this anti-gel. So it protects 130 gallons of fuel. And so I stopped there, and then I decided to go back to my yard and I left the car in there and drive the truck, and the snow was getting worse, and I just drove to Canadian Tire gas station here, and they sell diesel. It was $1.10 per liter times 3.78, so it's 4.15 Canadian per gallon divided by 1.3, so it's 320 US per gallon, but we get back about 30 gallons, 30 cents, right? So it's like 13 cents anyway, so it's like 285, 275, not too bad. But the only problem is that these guys, you know, just some of these smaller stations, it's not like a truck stop, it's just a regular gas station with a couple of diesel pumps. You know, the hoses are very small, and you know, it was getting cold and it's windy, and I'm standing there, and what these idiots did, they removed that, you know, clip. You know how at big truck stops you can, you know, you can stand next to a tank, but you don't necessarily have to hold that, you know, the gun, so to speak, or like the, you know, the thing, because you can lock it. You can lock it in the open position. But in most gas stations, they remove that thing. They remove that little plate, and so you have to hold it. You have to hold the handle all the time. And the hose is tiny, right? And I have 2 tanks, and I think I put in about like 400 liters, maybe just over 100 gallons, but it took like half an hour, so my fingers were just falling off, you know, by the time I was done. And then I had to buy DEF, because there's no bulk DEF. I bought a jug of DEF, put it in, so, but at least now my truck is full of fuel, and I put a bottle of anti-gel in each tank, so the truck is ready for that cold deep freeze coming. And tomorrow I'm gonna drive to Buffalo in my car and pick up these pipes and probably see if I'm lucky and install the Flowmasters. And I was checking the load board. Surprisingly, there's some loads. There was a couple of good loads, but I remember one was, you know, the rate was pretty good, but when I look at the length of this thing that they wanted to ship, it was basically it needs a extendable RGN. My 26-foot well is too short. But once I get back and the car is done, that's it. That's all my mods for now until summer. And then when it gets warm, I plan to go find some racetrack, do some driving. But because now I'm at 500 miles on my car, like 800 kilometers, and the manual says no racing is recommended until I think you have 1500 miles. You know, so I think perfect. By the summer, I should have that on my odometer. And then I can go and do some, you know, legal racing on a track. Oh, and I'm also waiting for my Fontaine dealer to call me, because I talked to them like last week or week before. They said they received the parts. You know, they received that locking pin that locks the gooseneck, and they received the bracket from Fontaine in Alabama, but I wanted to do this before I left on this trip into Minnesota, but they were too busy. So I emailed them Friday, no response. No, I called them, left a message, no response. So I sent them an email again. I said, so can we do something this week? Because all they have to do is just, you know, it's like a big cylinder with a handle, right? And you cannot take them out unless you cut the handle. And so all they need to do is just cut the handle, take the cylinder, that old one out, like the big pin, it's like probably, you know, 2-inch diameter, you know, and then put the new one in and weld on that handle. And then the brackets, I don't want to mess with those because that's a very big job, you know. So I said, let's see for now if just changing the pin will solve the problem, because right now it's very sticky. It's difficult to get it out and get it in, you know. You have to play with it for like 5 minutes to push it in. And I already, when I was at Hale Trail, right, they tried to fix it. They had that plasma, not a cutter, but like a grinder, right? So they tried to make it smoother, but it didn't work. It made things a bit better, but not perfect. So, but so far I'm waiting for these guys, and probably once that's done, then I can look for a load. But the good news is that I have 2 loads that some lady wants me to do. But those will happen in the middle of February. You know, she called me out of the blue. She found me just did a search on Google for a heavy haul carrier in Ontario, and she called me and we discussed the load. It's like a couple of short ones, and I said, hey, you pay me this much, I'll do the first one, I'll come back and do the second one. Like, one is going to Midwest, the other one is going from the same place. And the other one from the same place in Ontario goes to you know, New England. So Midwest, then come back and drag the other one to New England. But this one is with the trailer, so now it's like a regular heavy load. She said it's basically a machine. They said the weight is 88,000 pounds, so I will be using all my 8 axles. But then they're not 100% sure when it's gonna be, you know, shipping. So it can be middle of the February, middle of the month, or it can be end of the month. So I cannot wait that long, so I gotta do something, right? So because February is coming. And I did the IFTA, I did the New York tax, sent them the check. I think it was like $18.75. So now the last accounting thing I have to do is for the last quarter of 2018 is the Kentucky fuel tax, but it's very easy. The deadline is the last day of January, but there's no mailing, nothing. You just go online, log on, you know, to the website and fill out some info, mostly like miles, how many miles you ran in Kentucky, and that's it. They tell you how much you owe, and you pay with a Visa or with a credit card, and that's it. So no mailings, nothing. So much easier than New York. And that's the last thing I got to do, and then my last quarter filings pretty much done. So, all right, so I'll try to do another video when I know some of you are still interested in my super muscle car, so I'll do a video about, you know, the new exhaust, and I'll do it before and after to see how the sound changed. Actually, right now it sounds pretty good, you know. Sounds pretty good with those mid mufflers delete and resonators in place. And so we're gonna install a bigger pipe, 3-inch instead of 2 3/4, right, in the back, and install these instead of take out the resonators, and instead of resonators I'm going to install Flowmaster racing mufflers. And I think they should sound awesome, and they should improve performance a little bit. But the car now, it's great, you know. Like on the snow, of course, you know, especially when the snow is deep, you gotta watch it. But I don't see a problem, you know, because all cars have traction control, right? If it's really deep, you know, and I'm stuck somewhere, there's always the reverse. You know, you just go in reverse. That always works. So thanks for watching. That was a quick update from Cambridge, Ontario. Captain SERGEI.